So we've been away for a couple of weeks. Actually, we had to go straight after the storm that we had. We cleared up the bits of mess that we could do, but this is quite a big piece we'll need to sort out, this willow. And it's broken in 3 places at least, and there's quite a lot of branches to sort out here. Some of these we can give to the horses, but we'll pile them up with the rest of our willows that we keep. Yeah, it's actually not as bad as I thought. So there's those 2 big stems. They're still going quite well, but I have to get them off there because they may have partially crushed one of the raised beds in there. So we'll need to do something with that. Potatoes in both of these. I think we've taken most of the ones out of that first bed there, so it's not too bad. I'm noticing also though some damage over here. One of the trees, the leaves have been dried out completely and they're falling off. And that is one of the dangers of the wind, that people don't realise that it can cause that sort of almost drought condition. It dries them out, almost freezes them off. So that tree there, branches broken off there, so that's needs dealing with. And some of these other trees are still showing damage from the wind. Just there as well. So plenty of work to be done in here, and everything in the meantime while we've been away has grown excessively. This kale is looking good here. Weeds are looking good in there too. And that mullein looks very structural. Looks good though. The apple trees have survived, although some of the stems have got bent over. That's survived there. Some of them have lost their leaves. That one there lost some leaves. There's only small trees in here that are just starting out, so I'm not too worried about the crops on them really. This one has actually survived quite well. Plenty of apples on there, and even on this little James Grieve. And then here, oh, this alder that was growing in here has got snapped by the wind. So some of that wind did get through in here, possibly because now there's a big gap over there. Native nasturtiums growing in there. And a couple more snapped branches here. There are some pears on that pear tree that's hiding underneath there, so that's pretty good. And here we have, these are a pink onion, so I just left those on the top there to dry, and we've left a couple of them to create seeds for us for next year. So we'll leave those there. Potatoes have got a bit crushed in amongst the damage from this tree, but they're still growing away with no problem. So we'll give a bumper crop of potatoes, if nothing else. Seeing in here what we've got in terms of potatoes. That's good. Yeah, so unfortunately this older tree has been blown out by the roots. So the roots have come out of the ground, so this is going to die. So we're going to have a big hole here, although I think the trees on either side are going to fill in some of that gap. We may have to put another tree in there. That's a shame though. We'll see what we can do with wood from that tree. We've got a little bridge we need to put in across a couple of ditches, and older wood is particularly good for putting over the top of water. In fact, I believe that many parts of Venice are built on top of older wood because of how well it is able to take water. So yeah, that's a bit of a shame. So, in some better news about the wind that we had recently and the storm that's damaged quite a bit of foliage on the trees, we do have plenty of plums. Although the bad news is blackbirds are rampant in here. So we're going to pick a few of these today. So plenty of good plums. So that's some good news. Yeah, the apples are getting there too. Good few plums here. You can hear the blackbird in the background's not too happy about that. And here we go. The plums and apples made into a beautiful plum and apple jam. And this Russian doll seems quite happy about it too. Noticing how well this linden tree or lime tree is done. This is Tilia. It's doing particularly well this year, and in fact all these trees have been growing here really as a bit of a nursery to move on elsewhere, as I didn't have any space to put them in at that moment in time. They've all grown so well, I'm actually thinking about leaving some of them here. And there you can see in the background that poor willow tree that has snapped. Not entirely sure. I think it'll recover actually from that. Willows are amazingly adaptable, and that's broken 2 major stems off, but I'm sure the rest of the tree will grow quite well, and eventually it will grow again from the base and around that stem.